Today's video is going to talk about why you shouldn't pre-order this Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Am I saying that you shouldn't buy the game? No, do whatever you want with your money, but I highly recommend waiting before you pre-order because you're really not missing out. There's a ton of things that we're going to talk about. As soon as you load up the game, you get this nonsense smacked in your face. Obviously, they're going to try and sell the game, but they really haven't given you any value or reason to buy this game yet. For the most part, there's people who think this is a DLC because we're using old content. We've heard a bunch of changes about movement, but for the vast majority of you, nearly all of you, you really haven't seen any gameplay that represents those changes. Not quite yet, at least until COD Next, which you're going to be able to see everything. First off, if you go out of your way to buy either of these, you're basically telling them you don't care what the product is, you don't care what you get access to, because you really haven't been shown anything other than part of a campaign mission. That's kind of about it. In the trailer, basically 95% of that was a campaign mission. That is the first mission, and you'll explore that within the first 15 minutes of buying the game once the campaign is available. Even if you purchase these, they will still spam you with ads in-game. Even though you're already a customer, they're going to say, thank you for buying our stuff that we didn't even earn the right to sell you. And there's a lot of other reasons on top of that. For example, there's a lot of people that get stuck in this shadow ban loop. No clue why it works that way. Everyone knows it's a stupid system. Pretty sure the people who work there know it's a stupid system, but that doesn't mean it's going to change when you buy a brand new game. If you're stuck in that loop, I'd be extra cautious about getting this next game. The great part about the way the game works, before you pre-order, you're still going to have access to try the game, get hands-on first to see how the multiplayer feels, and we know that Warzone will get integrated with most of the features when it comes to December. At least that's the leaked timeline for that. So Warzone, if you're only a Warzone free-to-play player, we don't really worry about like rushing it. You could play the free beta. You don't got to pay any money. Weapons and all that stuff have always been super easy to level in Warzone. Usually about 30 to 45 minutes for a level from level 1 to max level. So you don't have to put a lot of pressure to make the game a weapon level simulator unless you actually enjoy multiplayer and the changes that are mentioned. And these are the base changes that we've kind of already talked about and heard about, which is basically we get the tac stance, which offers a new variety. And that's probably the most significant change in terms of the gameplay, because it is a brand new mechanic that has never been used in any Call of Duty. Then the responsiveness and then the mini-map stuff, those have all been used or in some way or another in a previous Call of Duty, and they're bringing them or reworking them to essentially fit within this engine and the way the game is going to feel, which includes cancel slide animation, cancel reload animation, and a bunch of other stuff. But that's not enough. We've seen it on paper where they said these movement changes were going to take effect. We saw it with Warzone, and people made a big deal, got overhyped, and then when it turned out, it really wasn't that big a change. With this case, you'll have to wait and see. And the great part is, we get a beta, we get multiple betas. If you're on PlayStation, you get the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. If you pre-order, you can get this or get a beta code, and there's tons of ways to get beta codes for console. You can go on Amazon and pre-order the game, and they don't charge you. You'll get a beta code, you cancel your pre-order, you never get charged, and you can buy the game digitally if you decide to get it later on. You can go into your local GameStop or equivalent, put $5 down, and they will give you a beta code when the beta codes are available, and you could refund that by canceling that. And basically, you're not out any money. The second weekend, you can pretty much do the same thing on Xbox. Not PC, you'll have to just wait till the 14th, 15th, and 16th, and you'll get an idea of what the general sentiment is. Right now, committing to the game, pre-ordering is basically saying, we don't care what your game is like, here's our money. And you might be gassed about these pre-order rewards. There's a lot of people that get this FOMO, fear of missing out, that if you don't pre-order today, you're not going to get these things. These things will be available up until the day before the game comes out. And a lot of them, if you're getting the Vault Edition, will be included after the game launches. There's not really any pre-order rewards that you're really missing out on. Most of the stuff is usually negligible. And if you're a hardcore Call of Duty player where you put in tons and tons of hours, half of this stuff isn't worth much. If we go through, you're going to get some basic skins, whatever. You get these 2 weapon things, which you'll level in 30 to 45 minutes. Not really all that worth it. And most of the time, you're going to put on a camo that covers that up. So again, not all that big a deal. We get into the black cell, you get extra tiers. If you play a bunch, you do the battle pass anyways. Those essentially are worthless, especially since in the beginning of the game, you're gonna probably play the most because you're leveling everything. You don't need the extra tier. This is like a facade of value. You're not actually getting much. If you hardly play the game, cool 50 tiers could be valuable, and you kind of skip up and at least unlock the new weapons within Season 1. And that's kind of it. Early access to the beta. Maybe wait until a day before the beta to say, hey, you know what? Preloads are available. I like what I see. Let me buy this game. Cool. Yeah, definitely. But telling them, giving them your money up front basically says, we don't care what you do with the game. We are a sucker. We're going to spend that money regardless, which is a lot of COD fans, to be fair, right? You play it every year. You know you're going to buy it, but don't tell them you're going to buy it. Like, you know what I mean? There's a big difference. And there's a ton of games. If you're only a Warzone person and you're not a multiplayer fan, there's tons of games you can spend $70 on. We got Spider-Man 2 coming out. Starfield's just about to drop. We got Assassin's Creed Mirage, Payday 3, Alan Wake 2, Lords of the Fallen. There's multiple games you can play. And there's tons on Game Pass if you're on the Xbox or PC. The game will eventually go on sale, so it's not like you have to put out the money immediately, because at the end of the day, this is all they've shown so far. We know some insights about what's going to happen. They're showing some basic stuff that to the naked eye essentially looks like Modern Warfare 2. Essentially. Looks like Modern Warfare 2, maybe a little slide in the mix that looks slightly better, looks similar to Modern Warfare 2019, but they essentially, when they demo these things, they essentially didn't show off any of those gameplay changes. Not to say that they don't exist based off of this, but essentially they haven't proven themselves to earn your business based off some campaign gameplay footage that is mostly cinematic to a certain extent. The other part with the beta is none of that progress carries over. So if you put in hours of time on October 6th and 7th because you pre-ordered, none of that transfers over to the full game. Literally nothing you do in the beta will transfer over. Sometimes they do some beta rewards, or maybe you get like 1 XP token, 1 blueprint for a gun you'll probably never touch when the game comes out. So no reason to get FOMO for that either. So even with all that, the real main reason is if you enjoy multiplayer and you know you're probably going to get it, cool. But wait till a couple days before you, or like around the time you could preload at least. Don't give them the money quite so soon. They're going to get a little happy and they're going to say, you know what? Maybe we don't need to make certain changes based off feedback. Maybe we don't need to listen to the community. We already got enough suckers putting out the money right away. And not to offend anyone that already pre-ordered it. I know if you're a diehard COD fan, you know you're gonna play it, but it is what it is. Either way, I think I'm gonna enjoy the game. Probably won't buy it probably not until the campaign comes out. I'll just get a beta code from Amazon or GameStop, like I said, and let me know kind of where your thoughts are on the situation. Appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.